Professor Dave has an infinite content farm in the form of debunking flat earthers. I've already made 3 videos on the subject live over at twitch.tv/SpongeDidTheMath, which is where you should follow me, by the way. But today we're doing another video because somebody called the Flat Earth Millionaire has promised over $200,000 to anybody who can prove the Earth is round, and Professor Dave does exactly that. But is he actually going to get paid? Let's find out. Brain dead flat earthers have to give me $200,000. I have not seen this video, so we're going in blind.
Flat earthers are the dumbest people alive, and while I cut my teeth in the debunking sphere on flat earthers so many years ago, I typically only come back to this topic to appease the viewers who can't seem to get enough of this content. Until today. Today, Daddy's gonna make some money. Allow me to explain. Now, you guys frequently email me to send me things to debunk, and sometimes I debunk them. When it comes to suggesting flat earth stuff to debunk, I usually don't, because it's almost always the same old shit. But this particular one was a little more enticing, so this is what someone sent me. It's a thread on the flat earth subreddit, which apparently is just a bunch of people making fun of flat earthers. But
Nice.
At any rate, the headline reads, "Crazy flat earth millionaire offers $100,000 if you can prove the earth is round."
I'm so taking that bet, dude. I'm getting a model rocket with a GoPro and I'm shooting it in the sky. That would be my opening strategy.
Well, that sounds pretty good to me, considering that I've proven the Earth is a sphere at least a dozen different ways. As far as how believable this headline is, well, the crazy part checks out. The rest, not so much. Nobody dumb enough to be a flat earther will ever be a millionaire ever. And we all know about David Weiss's Bitcoin offering that he never makes good on, no matter how many times it's proven to his face that the Earth is a sphere. I suspect that any flat earther, whether they're a con man like Weiss or just a brainwashed idiot, will have precisely the same policy when it comes to giving money away. But what's the harm in having a little fun with this, right? This video is only a minute long, so it's not like we'll be wasting too much time. And how bad can it be? Maybe they'll have something challenging. Let's take a look right after a quick word from today's sponsor.
And we're skipping that.
Okay, now back to the Flat Earth Challenge. Let's see what these jerks can muster.
Flat Earth Millionaire, he's got a challenge out for all the...
Flat Earth Millionaire is one hell of a LinkedIn bio, just for the record. I'm not sure I would identify as a Flat Earth Millionaire. I think millionaire alone is a flex. Flat Earth Millionaire feels like a flex in the opposite direction.
Globers to prove we live on a spinning ball.
Which for them, I guess, would be just down.
Okay, I'm gonna jump in real quick. First, sick soundtrack. That is one tasty guitar riff that
Is that Professor Dave as a kid?
is definitely gonna piss off those stupid NASA shills. That's a given. Second, I'm not sure why this text says $200,000. Maybe they can't tell
It's probably all in crypto anyway, which means it's even more valuable than the US dollar, right? That's how that works.
the difference between the number
God, remember NFTs, dude? I miss NFTs. I miss watching the copium as people bought those and just lost everything.
1 and the number 2. Maybe each of these jerks is offering
I also miss the GameStop cope. Anybody remember that? You remember the GameStop short squeeze cope? Everybody missed it, and they're like, well, it's going to happen again. We're going to do it again. And then the r/GME, I think it was coping for over 2.5 years. Like, they just kept saying it's going to happen. It was insane. It was more, I guess it was more hopium than copium.
up 100K? Is one of them the millionaire and the other is his sidekick? Are they both just ambassadors for the
they one
millionaire?
person?
Millionaires do tend to be pretty busy. Why are they standing right next to a garage for no reason?
Airbnb.
And finally, what the fuck?
r/Wall Street Bets. Nah, Wall Street Bets knew. They knew it was over. Correct. Yeah, I was talking. Yeah, the GameStop short r/GME is GameStop. Right. So there's a subreddit for GameStop. It was all about. It was created after the. Well, it wasn't created after this, but it became huge after the GameStop short squeeze. There were a lot of people there who missed the short squeeze and were like, "Oh, we're gonna do it again." And they kept talking about. Was it MOASS? MOASS. I forget what that stood for. It was something about basically we're gonna dump all our. We're gonna make the stock go up. Right. More stock go burr. And that subreddit was like coping for years. And then Wall Street Bets had moved on by this point. They gave up.
Fuck is a
They're like,
globe
whatever,
tart?
we're going on to the next thing, which is, I think a month later, it was AMC.
I know what a globe is, and I think they do too. But what about tart? When I think of a tart, I think of a fruit tart. That's a baked pastry with an open top filled with delicious fruits. Tart also just generally means a sharp or sour taste, or sometimes a cutting or biting tone in speech. And finally,
I mean, I know he's being a smartass, right? I've learned at this point, by my 3rd Professor Dave video, I've learned that he is purposely condescending to assholes. I completely get that now. And it's funny. I mean, we're just nitpicking at this. Come on, like, but at the same time, he's taking the piss for a reason. So I don't know. I go back and forth, but it's like, dude, he's trying to say tard. He doesn't want to say that on social media because it looks like this was posted to TikTok, and you can't say the T word on TikTok.
Tart can sometimes
taxes.
Refer to a promiscuous or provocative woman. Do they mean to imply that all of the 8 billion plus people who know the Earth is a sphere are promiscuous, provocative women, men, women, and children alike? Is this an incel thing? Hopefully they'll clear all of this up, because we're only 5 seconds in and I'm terribly confused.
The challenge, there's 3 main parts. We want to see...
when I think of a fruit tart, I think of you. That's rude.
Replication using the scientific method.
The scientific method, of course. Flat Earthers are highly concerned with the scientific method, naturally. You know, the method that trivially proves the Earth is round based on naked eye observations of the celestial sphere and basic logic. Flat Earthers love to pretend that the version of the scientific method that was taught to them in 3rd grade before they dropped out of middle school is somehow not what real science is doing, and also somehow what they are doing when they do their little pretend experiments.
It is kind of wild how they just forget the science that was taught to them. Like, I understand that there are some corrections that have happened to historical things. Like, we've learned more about certain historical events than we were taught in school, and sometimes we were also just flat out wrong, or sometimes things were obscured on purpose. I get that. That was also history specifically, but like science, the methods are kind of reliable. Like, we figured out a lot of shit. So I don't know. It's weird to think that like they just are ignoring 4th grade science, basically 4th, 5th grade science. I mean, shit. How many times did you do a trifold cardboard thing on like the scientific method because you did a science fair every year for like 10 years straight? I had to do that shit constant. It sucked. Every night. Every night that it was due, the night before, I would suddenly remember, and then I would tell my mom, be like, "Hey, I need construction paper, I need glitter, I need 3 different plants, and soda and lemonade and water and some Tupperware and a trifold piece of cardboard." And she's like, "Dude, it's 11:30." I'm like, "Yeah, it's due in 8 hours. So if you could hurry up and take me to the store, please, because I can't drive, that'd be great."
And that is quite adorable. But let's get to the meat of this thing. What's the challenge?
Cognitive dissonance amazes me. Yeah, me too, dude.
Fellas.
You know, observing, measuring, and repeating water sticking to a ball. You know,
what is this fixation with a ball? It is not a ball, you fucking idiots. It is a planet. It is it's the shape of a ball, but it's very, very large, unlike your very tiny brains. Being so large, it creates some fucking gravity.
You have to be spinning. We just want to see water conforming to the exterior of a ball.
Like, they don't understand scale. Like, they have no concept. It's like, how do they...
Okay, they want to see water sticking to a ball. If you're new to Flat Earth logic, allow me to translate. These dumb fucks are so mind-numbingly stupid that they think the feature of a spherical Earth that should make everything stick to it is its spherical shape, not its unbelievably enormous mass.
All right, I was at least correct. I said size, but I meant mass. I also punched myself in the ear. Lamau.
They think science suggests that such enormous gravitational force is exerted by planets because they are spherical, not because they're fucking huge. So if the Earth...
To be fair to them, they're stupid. But also, like, if we had a planet that looked like that, like a cube, it'd be a little bit easier to explain. I know there's science that proves this, but it would be easier to explain to idiots that the size is what attracts or what causes, gravitational pull. Because like if we had a planet that was like the shape of a carrot, but it was the size of, I don't know, ton 618, which is an extreme, but you know what I mean? If it was like that big, they'd be like, well, yeah, dude, it's the size that causes the pull. They'd probably drop the whole ball theory in a hurry. Maybe. Then again, I'm putting too much faith in them.
Earth were a cube.
Gravity of the scale. The bro sounded like Hugh Neutron. Jimmy.
Or something, that gravity wouldn't exist.
I love how people don't realize the corners existing on a box would mean there's uneven pressure in space. I mean, low-key, I didn't even think of that. I didn't even consider that at all. But that's really... Fuck, that's so smart. See, you should be an astrophilosopher.
because science says fears are magic.
You should be an astrologist.
Yes, that's how dumb they are. They are pretending gravity is such that you could go to Newton's law of universal gravitation, and instead of plugging in the mass of an object, there's a variable asking you what the fucking shape of the object is. What shape makes the most gravity? Is it
I love the way he cusses. He does it so much better than me.
spheres, or cubes, or pyramids?
I'm too smart for my own good? Okay, that's the most middle manager bullshit I think I've ever read in my life, Ryan. Please don't say that again.
That's how the pyramids at Giza do all their crazy laser
I always held the opinion that if my parents got me Addy at the right age, I'd be rich. Yeah, man. And if I was taller, I'd be in the NBA.
magic. And now you know. Anyway, the shortest response to this idiotic challenge is to explain to them how they're complete morons who have no idea how gravity works. Water won't magically stick to a random ball the way the oceans stick to the earth, because a ball is super tiny and the earth is fucking huge.
But
Not
it's a
only
ball
will the
shape.
ball not produce any kind of
Chat, what sound does that red ball make? Type it out. How do you spell the sound that thing makes?
negligible gravitational field, but unless you're in deep space far away from everything else, the ball is going to be right next to the Earth, which once again exerts an unbelievably enormous gravitational field because of how big it is. So the desired demonstration of water sticking to a ball to illustrate gravity.
Boing. That's pretty close. It's more like a foom. Do I still have that sound? I might have it on my soundboard. Wait. Yeah, there it is. That's the sound it makes. Somebody spell that. Parunk.
Will fail because
That's pretty good.
gravity
You guys are good at
exists,
this.
which is why the water will fall to the earth. But since they're too dumb to understand that, we can just go ahead and do the demonstration anyway, because when you wet a ball, it will stay wet,
Wang.
which means water is sticking to it and conforming to its curved surface. That has nothing to do with gravity, of course, but this is what they want to see, so let's give it to them.
You could tell he's really smart because he doesn't know how to decorate. More or less, he doesn't decorate at all. That's the cope I'm using for not decorating the room behind me. I'm not a bad decorator. I'm just a
That's not an
genius.
ocean or anything. It's just a tiny bit of water. Yeah, well, it's a tiny little ball. If you shrank the Earth down to the size of a cue ball, the ocean would be less than 1/1000th of an inch, or less than 1/5 of a millimeter
And my penis would be even smaller.
deep. So the visible wetness
His eyebrows make me hate him. He'd be a good villain. He looks like a villain. Respectfully, I like him, but he looks like a villain.
on this ball is
Like
more
Disney
pronounced
character,
than
kinda
that.
like-
Any wet ball is water conforming to the curvature of a ball. First challenge met. Moving right along.
The second is I want to see where sea level, where the physics of water finding and maintaining level, go from sea level being level and
I got to hear that again. What did he just say? Sea level what?
flat, see where
The curvature of a ball. First challenge met.
Listen to this double talk. I mean, that's the point because they're stupid, right? But listen close.
Moving right along.
the second is I want to see where sea level, where the physics of water finding and maintaining level,
I want to see where sea level, where the physics of water finding and maintaining level. Is that how sea level is defined? Is that actually the definition? I've never looked this up. Define sea level. Sea level is the average surface level. Hang on, we're going to learn something today. Mean sea level, MSL, often shortened to sea level, is an average surface level of one or more among Earth's coastal bodies of water from which heights such as elevation may be measured. The global MSL is a type of vertical datum. That was written in there. You didn't see it. A standardized geodetic datum, I probably pronounced that correctly, that is used as a chart datum in cartography and marine navigation. Datum, I hardly know them. Or in aviation as the standard sea level at which atmospheric pressure is measured to calibrate altitude and consequently aircraft flight levels. I'm not reading anything about what he just said, which is like water is finding a consistent level. That is not what sea level means. Unless I'm completely misinterpreting this, I don't think that's what he said. A common and relatively straightforward mean sea level standard is instead long-term average of tide gauge readings at a particular reference location. Tide gauge is divided into sea level vertical datum, also known as a marograph, and sea level recorder. We're learning so much today, chat. This is why I love Professor Dave. Even when he's cussing people out, we learn so much. And my mom is texting me. I'm ignoring her.
go from sea level
For the
being
moment.
level and flat, a flat surface, to
I feel like he's trying to smarten up saying current sea level due to physics at this time. Even what you just said, I'm going to say this respectfully, even what you just said sounds like bullshit. I know what you're saying, but it sounds like marketing bullshit.
Convex.
It's
Go from
buzzword
right
shit.
along.
Let's hear this one more
Second
time.
is I want to see where sea level.
She said the pizza rolls are done. Are you quoting that video with the dude rubbing his hands, and he's like, he's trying to like look cool, and his brother just comes out. He's like, the pizza rolls are done.
You already know what's going on, dog.
Hey, Mom made pancakes.
with the physics of water finding maintaining level.
I love that video.
Go from sea level being level and flat, a flat surface, to convex.
Sea level, level and flat surface to convex. Okay, so once again, it's a scale issue. I'm sure Professor Dave will prove this better than I could ever do so. That's why he's the PhD guy and not me. But when things are so big, your brain can't comprehend this anyway because things are big, right? It hurts brain to think of big thing. That's why space is so intimidating. But when things are so big, they can appear level because they're so big. Like the curve just is, it's like what, 0.01 degrees per mile or some shit? I don't know. Somebody actually knows the exact scale of the curvature of the Earth. But I mean, if you believe in gravity, sure. Okay, bro, sheep thinker
You want to see
alert.
where sea level turns to sea
Oh,
curve.
man.
Okay.
Oh, look, the idiot flat earther doesn't know what level means. Level doesn't mean flat. It means perpendicular to the gravitational acceleration vector. Gravity pulls everything to the center of the Earth. That can be represented with a vector. Level means perpendicular to that.
Yeah, that's what I said. Probably.
The curvature of the Earth is negligible over short distances, so a piece of wood or metal or something that is level will be essentially parallel to the ground. That's why idiots think that level means flat. It doesn't. The Earth is just
Like I said, he would say it better than I would.
really big, so the amount of curvature that occurs over a tiny distance is practically zero. The curvature is less of a factor than the imperfections in the object and the ground. But level does in fact mean perpendicular to gravity. That's how a fucking level works. The liquid in the spirit level always settles at the lowest point, which means minimizing its gravitational potential energy by getting as close to the center of the Earth as possible. If the liquid goes as low as possible, the bubble goes as high as possible, which is the center of the very slightly curved level. Using a level is a demonstration of gravity. Level does not mean flat. If a flat object or surface were sufficiently long, its flatness would then no longer be level, and a
Sorry, I'm doing a quick side Google here. The Earth curves approximately 8 inches per mile. Is that right? 8 inches per mile squared, approximating the curvature of the globe. That's larger than I thought. That's what
level
she said.
wouldn't register it as level because the farther from the center you go, the more it would deviate from being perpendicular with the local gravity vector, and the bubble would be forced to one side of the level to accommodate the liquid getting as low as possible. Now, these two morons are too dumb to understand anything I just said, but luckily
You know what else curves every 8 inches?
their dumb challenge can once again be
Your
easily
mom?
met anyway. Check out Lake Pontchartrain near New Orleans. These are electricity towers. They're all identical. And because this spans about 15 miles, that's far enough for
No, those are 5G towers. Okay, those are what caused COVID.
curvature to become apparent. So as we look along this chain of 85 pylons, there comes a point where they begin to dip
Pylon is such a cool term. I like that word.
below the horizon. We can't see the bottoms of these far towers because they are hidden by Earth's curvature. That's right, the curvature of the water
that show up on
itself.
my
Crazy
notifications?
curvy water strikes again. You can see a
No, it
little bit
didn't.
further
Weird.
than you otherwise would due to refraction, especially since
They made them
refraction over
shorter
water
as they
is
get
more
further
pronounced
away.
than over
Yeah,
land.
man.
But this distance is still far enough that we can't see the bottoms of the far towers.
I think the bot's just glitching.
There are tons of other examples like this where we can look at city skylines across a large body of water and observe that the bottoms of the buildings can't be seen because they are obscured by curvature.
No, the Earth is sinking. Okay, New York City, if you go far enough away, is underwater. Okay, Venice isn't sinking. You just got to get closer to it, like really close.
And this has nothing to do with water specifically.
Yeah, it's strange,
Solids
though,
and
'cause my
liquids alike
Twitch
will
activity
conform
feed is
to the
not
curvature of the Earth
updating.
because gravity exists. Anyone who isn't a complete moron understands that water isn't special. It is subject to gravity just like everything else, which means that every water molecule will minimize its gravitational potential energy by getting as close to the center of the Earth as possible.
Yeah,
And
Twitch
this
needs
is
to
why
lock the fuck in.
oceans
I
and
agree.
seas and even extremely large lakes very obviously conform to the curved surface of the Earth. Water isn't flat, ever. Not a single drop and not a whole ocean. Second challenge met. Let's wrap this thing up.
having a vacuum chamber next to a pressurized system, gas pressure, air pressure, atmospheric
Dude, it's the same logic as Lord Dumbass. Lord Jamar.
pressure doesn't matter without
It's almost word for word. Good Lord, dude. They all just it's a what's the word? Echo chamber.
a solid barrier, without it violating the second law of thermodynamics.
The second law
okay.
of thermodynamics. I know about thermodynamics, of course, but what is thermal dynamics? Is that a subfield of physics I'm not familiar with? Perhaps he misspoke and he meant thermodynamics.
Perpendicular to the center of the earth. Does that mean the center is flat? Hey man, be careful. They might get you.
It's definitely
That's how
not
people
that he
die.
doesn't know the word thermodynamics. Anyway, one of my favorite things is when science-illiterate morons, like flat earthers or creationists, bring up the second law of thermodynamics, because they have no idea what it says. Creationists think it says order to
It's like when people quote the Bible just randomly. They just go John 3:16 or whatever. They use the Bible as an excuse to like highlight, you know, gay hate. It's like gays shouldn't be married, women shouldn't be kissing women and all that, or, you know, trans people shouldn't be a thing because Bible Thessalonians 4:12 or whatever. It's like, dude, did you even read your own book? Come on. Like, cite your sources correctly, for one, and two, there's no hate quite like Christian love. I don't understand.
structures can't form
John
spontaneously.
Bible? I believe that guy's name was Jesus. Jesus of Nazareth.
Because that helps
'Cause he
them
wrote it,
deny
right?
abiogenesis
I'm
and
kidding.
evolution. Of course, it doesn't say that, and ordered structures form spontaneously all the time, like anytime anything freezes and crystallizes, or crystallizes in solution. Sometimes molecules even spontaneously form highly complex structures, like snowflakes. Flat earthers also have no idea what this law says, although they are surprisingly at least a little closer to the right ballpark by talking about the dispersion of gas particles. The second law of thermodynamics says that the entropy of the universe increases for any spontaneous process. Entropy is a measure of the dispersal of matter and
John 3:16 says, God so loved the world, he gave his only begotten Son, so that whosoever believes in him shall never die but have eternal life. So how does that relate to baseball? Because every time, it's like every World Series, you see some dumbass with that on their sign. I don't understand. Are they thanking God for the fact that the Mets made it to the World Series again or whatever?
energy, so matter and energy tend to disperse.
Jesus of
But
Nazareth,
science
low-key sounds like a
deniers
Yu-Gi-Oh
always
card.
forget
Aren't you like former Catholic? Anyway, sorry, total doxing there.
the of the universe part. Particles come together all the time. Anytime a gas condenses, for
To be fair, Judas Iscariot sounds like an awesome card.
example, gas becoming liquid is a decrease in entropy, but that's a local decrease
Well said,
in
Unicorn.
entropy. When the particles do that, they establish electrostatic interactions that occur between the particles.
God forbid a man have a little whimsy. Yeah, you're not allowed to have whimsy. I need you to be very serious, okay? If my YouTube comment section is serious and takes everything I say very seriously and has trouble understanding dry humor, I need you to do the same, okay? We're all going to be boring and autistic and super weird. Agree?
Particles of any liquid, which brings the system to a lower potential energy, and that energy is released to the surroundings, which increases the entropy of the
Aesop's
universe.
Fables? Yeah, right.
Local decrease in entropy, but an increase in the entropy of the universe. Second law of thermodynamics. Now let's apply this to what these dumbasses think the
Okay, so it was just TLDR, entropy. I can guarantee they're not discussing entropy.
they're talking about. They're so earth-shatteringly stupid that they think science suggests a
Don't you mean flat earth shatteringly stupid? Don't you mean floating disk shatteringly stupid?
completely uniform atmosphere around the Earth, directly adjacent to the vacuum of space, which they think is a vacuum cleaner that should be sucking all the air off of the Earth. So, first of all, say it with me,
Vacuums don't suck. Yeah.
A vacuum is an absence of matter, nothing more. It does not exert force. If
I interpret it as basically the declaration of eternal life, and it makes people feel better / stronger because they're dumb and want to be alive forever. We all live on a big frisbee, didn't you know? Was that written by a dog? Was that comment written by a golden retriever?
you had a vacuum,
Your mom isn't a vacuum? No, she doesn't suck.
If you had a vacuum and a pressurized container separated by a barrier and you release the barrier, of course the gas particles would
But they suck the particles in there. I just saw you suck them.
disperse until they fill both volumes equally. The gas particles will push their way into the empty region until they achieve a configuration with the greatest number of microstates. If you want to hear me elaborate on microstates as the driver behind entropy,
Microstates sounds like some sovereign citizen bullshit. That's what that sounds like. That sounds like no officer, I was traveling to my microstate, which would be my domicile, not a home or whatever.
Check out this
Most
tutorial
grateful
from my
streamer.
classical physics series. But the point is that these are tiny little volumes right here on the surface of the Earth. The atmosphere isn't like that. The atmosphere is a gradient that stretches all the
Shit, I want some domicile. +1.
way up
That
to
was good.
100
+1.
kilometers above the surface.
Isn't that how osmosis works, but with liquid? I don't know. I haven't seen the movie in a while. I just know Kid Rock was involved in the kidneys or some kidney rock, I think.
To the Kármán line. It's thick here at sea level. It gets thinner with altitude, which absolutely anyone can verify by taking a barometer up a mountain, and it gets thinner still as particles have
Kid Rock made a pedo song for Osmosis Jones. That's all I know. I mean, he's made several. Did you see? Oh my God, dude, on the subject of shitty rappers, I just remembered. Hang on. Did you guys see the new Vanilla Ice cover art? Vanilla Ice latest album. You gotta see this shit, dude. I think it's this one. Dude, look at this. I bet you can't tell me the name of the graphic artist that designed this. I'll give you $100 if you can find the artist that made this. The human artist. Yeah, it's Grok. It's got to be Grok. It's got to be ChatGPT. I mean, this is what becomes of a man who steals beats. I guess we shouldn't expect anything else. But, you know, it's just, this looks like, who? It is a tool that can be used for specific purposes. This is not one of them. This looks like shit. If you generate music or pictures with AI, I think you should sound yourself with barbed wire. Like it's horrible. This is dog shit. Someone at work was selling lunches and an AI created menu to print and post. Someone dead ass gave them snaps for working so hard and being so creative. I mean, I showed you the poster, right? The AI poster that I had at work. There was somebody made like a water picture. Let me see if I can find it. All right. So like somebody generated this and this was on a bulletin board at work. And it looks so dog shit. And it's the colors are kind of washed because the camera, but like imagine that, but like saturated times about 1,000. Like it looks really yellowy and orange. It looks just, it's horrendous, dude. And somebody was like, that looks really nice. I'm like, you laminated this? They laminated like 5 and they're all over the building. Also, who needs a reminder to drink water? Does your mouth not go like do you not feel that shit on your tongue? Do your lips not stick together? I'm kind of parched right now, for example. I'm going to have some Waterloo, not sponsored. But like, why do you need to be reminded to do this shit? Then again, we also have people who die every year in hikes in July in Arizona, which I believe we did have somebody recently who had to get rescued because she had heat stroke. Anyway, let's focus. Back to the matter at hand.
To get so high against the force of gravity.
Because he's old?
You get to the Kármán line.
I mean, he's like 25. He's way younger than me. But anyway.
And honestly, this isn't even the end of it.
Thank you, Ryan.
This is just the line where aeronautics gives way to astronautics. In other words, the air is so thin that you can't fly a plane up there. You need a rocket. If we want to get super technical, the atmosphere continues to get thinner and thinner. Exosphere truly becomes indistinguishable from deep space.
Or researching manually?
So there is
No.
definitely no place where there is lots of atmosphere. Nobody has ever said there was or should be. So this
Or they're
third
stupid
challenge
bots,
is
yeah.
the dumbest one of all, since it's not even a real thing that describes any aspect of reality. But since I'm a good sport, we can still meet the challenge by showing the
That picture's fake.
Earth's atmosphere as a whole next to
What if that's just like a countertop with like, I don't know, some weed resin spilled on it?
a vacuum. That's any image of the Earth from low Earth orbit. Here's one from the ISS. This visible line here is called air glow, and it's roughly at the altitude of the Kármán line. We can see the atmosphere, which is gas, getting thinner and thinner with altitude, and we can see the near perfect vacuum of space. Those two systems are next to each other in this image. Third challenge met. Hooray, that's all the challenges. We did it, you guys. Hopefully in the last few...
Here's the thing, though. They're going to easily just go, well, A, that's Photoshop, right? You could just move the goalpost and go, well, that's Photoshop, that's bullshit. Or B, let me see you get another picture, right? Let me see another one. And they'll ask you to repeat it. And that's all it is they're just going to bore you to death by making you repeat it. Repeat the results endlessly.
Seconds of the video, they will instruct me as to how to collect my cash prize.
So if any of you ballers can prove we live on a spinning ball, we got $100,000
I see it, Ryan. Thank you.
Go do something else.
Yes, moron, I'm sure you have a lot to do. Wait, no you don't, or you wouldn't be a fucking flat earther. If you had literally anything or anyone in your life, you wouldn't be a flat earther. But I, on the other hand, do indeed have a lot to do. So if you'll just tell me how to collect my money, whether it's 100,000, 200,000, you can split the difference if you want. We can do installments if you prefer. But how do I get my money?
Go follow Flat Earth Millionaire. Thanks for your time. Thanks for everything you're doing, dude.
Flat Earth Millionaire, huh? Oh, he's got his own
Flat
outro.
earthers, please do not
He definitely bought this from Nerd or Die, by the way. I know that because I had a similar asset kit for my stream years ago, like a decade ago.
ruin cheesy 1980s stock synthwave graphics for me. These do not belong to you. Leave them alone. Although the jingle was pretty catchy. You might have a future in advertising. Anyway, it sounds like this guy is indeed Flat Earth Millionaire. Does anyone know where I can find him? I mean, I'm not too worried about it since every Flat Earther is completely obsessed with me and will hate watch this video a dozen times, and all of them will make pathetic response videos desperately trying to vomit up some ridiculous script.
It is kind of insane. I did legitimately get replies on the past 2 videos I've done reacting to Professor Dave from people who really do believe this shit. It is, I think they're joking, but like it's kind of scary.
That they think will combat the undeniable facts and basic logic I presented to win the challenge. But in case he misses it, can someone tell him to email me, please? I accept money through PayPal or direct bank deposit. Of course, he could be dead since he's dumber than rocks and I have no idea when they made this. He could have chugged cleaning fluid or blown himself up with fireworks a long time ago. In which case, could somebody notify me regarding his next of kin? I'm sure they will honor his verbal commitment to rewarding proper use of the scientific method. Anyway, that was a lot of fun, but we can drop the act as we wrap things up. Neither of these assholes have a net worth of $20. Neither of them will ever see $100,000 over their entire lives, nor would they ever part with a single cent of it under any circumstances.
Plus whatever this will be.
But fortunately, I'll make a few bucks on AdSense revenue from this video that was so unbelievably easy to produce and which none of my viewers will complain about. I'm getting throttled by the algorithm real hard when I do highly relevant videos on Trump administration officials, and this is my way of evening things out. You understand.
Throttled by the algorithm. Funny he says that because shadow banning is not a thing. He did not say he is shadow banned. That's not what I'm saying. But people talk about like how YouTube is throttling their bullshit or censoring them. It's like, no, maybe you just suck at making videos. I know that because some of my videos flop. You know why? Because they fucking suck.